What's up, YouTube? It's PJ Chess here, back with another vid. So today, I played a National Master. She's amazing. She's almost 2,300. I got 4 games, one of them very quick. Did not have any chance whatsoever. I lost all four, really, but I want to show three of them as they actually... I did play two decently. This game I played like a 2350. This game I played like a 2250. And this game I played similar to a 2250 again. So I did play pretty good. She just played better, and it happens sometimes. And these two games show you that, I can still win. I had some good games, 93% accuracy and 87. I want to show all of these and share and go through my thoughts with them. So before getting into it, make sure you subscribe, like, and share. And let's get to it. So she starts this game off with going d4. I go d5, pawn to c4. Let me make sure, actually, I recorded this before. And, okay, let me make sure the screen is changing, because before it just showed no picture. But yeah, e6, knight here to f3. Knight to f6, captures, and knight to c3. Now, not much to say here. This is all pretty normal, nothing exquisite. I go pawn here to c6. She goes pawn to g3. Bishop f5, bishop g3, and pawn here to h6. Now, this is the Catalan system. I do know this, so I felt pretty comfortable. She plays a lot of openings that I play or I know about, which is like a... it's almost like a smack in the face a little bit, just because like I feel kind of like, oh, I know this, but then I don't. Like when you play a master, it means almost nothing. So she castles. I go bishop here to d6, knight here to e5, and I castle myself. Now, again, I know this. I'm feeling comfortable and confident. She goes bishop to f5, and I go pawn here to g5. Now, this is the first inaccuracy. I played this just so I didn't get into a, so to speak, static position. I thought that if I was being more aggressive, it might throw off her game, because we played before and I've lost a lot. And then mostly because I kind of let her get into her offense. And I do this against people that are better than me in general. If you just sit back and play an equal game, I'll get outmaneuvered eventually. So my thought process here was to go for something. So I probably wouldn't have played this if I didn't know how I was playing. And that's why chess is fun sometimes, because I definitely want a different approach here. The wrong one is it ends up not working, but that was the idea, to be aggressive. She drops back bishop to c1, the best move. I go knight b to d7. She captures, I capture, and I now have a winning position. Oh, this game, this is a heartbreaker. I think I actually was winning later on as well. She goes pawn to h4, drop my knight back. She takes, I take with the knight. She captures, and I capture. Queen slides up, pawn here. Pawn to e4 with the best move. I capture, she captures. And here I have a small advantage. You can see I'm up 0.5 on the eval bar. I move my king forward. The reason king here is such a good move is, so if you were to take, so I did consider this. The problem here is not only am I being attacked here, the king is not connected to this pawn. The queen, f4 seems like a good move to just break open. The king is now up, and I can't get to this open file. But doing it the way I did it, if it were to be a trade here, say if I was to take here, rook over now works. But I find the best move going bishop to h3. Rook slides over, and this is why I think you could see the time usage. Yeah, while I was so hesitant to play it, I spent 31 seconds, and honestly more. I realized that was an option once I moved my king forward. So like however long, like that 13 seconds I was thinking. And I decided to go here eventually, because I'm like, well, it's probably good to attack the rook. I had two issues with it, and I actually ended up losing because I couldn't figure out this issue. Now, I'm sure it was solvable. I just couldn't find it. Is that if I want to get my rook here, I want to get my queen here on this. So I want to double up on the h-file. The problem is there's no square that my bishop can just disappear. Like, if the bishop wasn't there, if it just vanished, it would work. But the problem is it can't do that. It's taken up where the queen can go. If I go back here, just sacrificing, the bishop can capture, then I can no longer go there. It ends up not working. I didn't like the rook sliding over. I thought them controlling this file was just too good, and she ends up making it work. So I'm my rook here to h8, not a great move. Rook comes forward. I find the best move, and I mess up. Now here is the part of the game where I could have probably, maybe, I don't know, say I won. I could have had a good position at the very least by going here, but I blunder, and I go g4. Now, this is a mistake. I consider this move a blunder. My thought here was that, okay, the bishop gets stuck. That's decent, but I quickly realized that it doesn't matter as my bishop stuck here. And I'm still winning. Honestly, some of it is that some of the issue with playing someone better is to get an equal position, or even winning in this case, you have to take time, and she didn't need to take the amount of time. Like, she's better than me, so for her, this is like, oh, just playing normal, nothing crazy is happening, so it's not taking her too much. And you see with the time discrepancy, I'm down a minute. So maybe if we both had 2 minutes, I could have a chance to win. But if we both had 2 minutes, I'd have a losing position, as it takes me much longer to process what's happening. And that's why the clock is so important. And here, just like that, it flips a change of 3 exactly. 1.5 my, 1.5 her way. Rook over loses the game. She slides here, king up. We both make some mistakes. I drop my king here and pawn forward. And this is why I realized I messed up, because shortly after, it's very clear the knight there, this pawn. I didn't see the pawn, but I saw it happens in the game, as you'll see. But I did see the knight, and I was like, man, this is just not going to go well. And shortly, I lose the game. I mean, it sucks. I tried, but, you know, as she's a master, not going to not convert an endgame, and I resign here. But yeah, I think the very important key moment in this game was me deciding to go g4 over f4. It was just a bad calculation. And now that I'm looking at it, like, obviously hindsight's 2020, but this is something I'm capable of finding, and that's why it's like, man, I gotta work on that. But that's my next step. I gotta be able to calculate like the important moves in a very tense position. So that's game one. I thought it was interesting to show how a master plays. And the second game, I think, is a little, or no, this game is better. This is the best game. This is the game I actually, well, technically I won. Her computer shut down, but she was already winning at that point. But this game, oh, I remember. This is kind of funny. Well, not for me, but you may enjoy it. She plays the English. She goes c4, I go e6, knight f3, pawn to d5, captures, and pawn to d4. All pretty standard, nothing super entertaining there. I go knight here to f6. She goes knight to c3, bishop to e7, pawn to g3, and then pawn here to c6. Now, again, similar to, I think this game happened after. As you'll see, we both make adjustments based on what happened in the previous game. So she goes bishop g2, I castle. She goes there, and I go h6. So this stops, or it doesn't stop. It stops this and allows this very quickly. And because of the previous game, you see she goes h4. Now, maybe she doesn't go h4 without the previous game, but now she does. She's stopping any g5 idea. Her knight is very active. The pawn to e-pawn hasn't been pushed yet, but the position is very solid. I go bishop to f5, a mistake. Now, bringing knight here is the best move. I'm not very mad I didn't find that. I just didn't see it, to be honest with you. Now, I wish I could see it, but to see the difference in 0.6 by which piece to develop, I think I'm just not at that level yet, so I'm not going to hold it over myself. And I decide to develop my light square bishop and go bishop to f5. She goes queen here to b3. I go queen to b6. I was fine with queen trading, just one, because if I take, it'll be double pawns, and if she takes, I'll have an open file. So either way, I was fine with it. She drops back. I move knight b to d7, captures, and bishop to, wow, this is hard to watch. I was winning in the last two games. But she goes bishop to f4. I take the pawn. Knight goes here to a4. I saw my, it's funny, not funny. I said this on stream that queen a3 is actually a better move. After I realized, I calculated a lot. You'll see by my time usage. I figured that out after, so yeah, you'll see. I spent a minute, and I still blunder. But I realized that, wait, why didn't I take this? Oh, I know. Well, this is what I was thinking. I was like, if I take, then rook over. But what does the computer say here? The computer says that it's fine after I want the analysis to work. Hold on, sorry, I can make the analysis work. But yeah, this is why I was hesitant. Okay. So if you do take, and then rook slides over, queen a5, rook xb7, knight f6. And it's saying I'm just winning here. So this is why I was hesitant, because I saw that the bishop guards that square. I would lose this pawn, but clearly I was just wrong what I was worrying about, and it wasn't a huge deal. So that's on me. That's a mistake. And I'm blundering and drop back. Rook slides over, queen goes here to c4. Very important move. You need to, well, it ends up not mattering. But my thought was that I need to stay attached to that pawn. She takes, I take there. Again, you see the time usage. I just cannot calculate as quickly as she can. She's barely used any time at this point. Even though it's 3 plus 2, so, you know what, 36 extra seconds, but what? That's still less than a minute spent for this whole game. And I'm spending, what, 2:15 plus that 36, so almost the full 3 minutes you start with. She takes the pawn here on b7. I take this pawn here, and this is where it starts to go bad. Knight goes here to c3. I go queen here to a5, thinking I figured everything out. Once she takes, I feel good. I take, and then she takes the knight. Now this, I mess up very shortly. Bishop x g2, q capture, and a blunder, rook a d8. Oh, wow, that's actually fine. Oh, wait, this is still fine. Oh, wait. So if I would have done this, takes, is this not? Oh, the bishop. Wow. I did not see that. That's also, see the time usage. If I would have gotten this position with more time, if I could have just thought a little quicker, but thought a little quicker, I may have lost. So yeah, I missed that the bishop gets trapped and I blunder here. Yeah, and this is just a losing endgame as you could imagine. Against most people, and especially against a master, there is nothing really to come back from. I tried, I gave some chances, but once the rooks got traded, and the fact that these are on dark squares, there's just really no chance here. Yeah, you see, I was trying to force a stalemate a couple times, but she did not go for it. And it ends up, because if the knight were to queen, this is going to be stalemate. Eventually, I think. Oh, no, because of that. Never mind. It wouldn't have been. Oh, why didn't she? Oh, we both thought it was stalemate, apparently, because that's probably why she didn't promote. Because that and then queen there's checkmate. But yeah, that's the game 2. Another loss. And here's the final one. The game that hurts the most to go over. Because I was, as you see, I played the best. I was winning. And I think I was winning before I make a huge blunder. But I go d4, she goes pawn to g6, bishop f4, bishop to g7, pawn to e3, and knight here to f6. I go pawn to h3, trying to stop the knight from going here, forcing the bishop being traded off. Castles, knight to f3, pawn here to b6, bishop to d3, bishop to, what is this, to b7, and I castle myself. Again, this is stuff I play all the time, so I feel confident despite losing all these games. It's stuff I'm comfortable in, and that's honestly some of the best games that you can play, for me at least, when I'm trying to improve, playing somewhat better in a system that I play all the time. So it's not like I'm playing completely out of pocket, like something I would never play. This is stuff I can really learn from as I do this opening pretty much every time. She goes pawn here to e6, I go pawn to c3, pawn here to h5, pawn to h4, no, a5, a4, excuse me, pawn to d6, and knight b to d7, d2, wow. You can see I've been talking about chess all day. But so far, this is pretty good. This is, again, all normal. There are no central pawns that have advanced too far, so again, I'm feeling pretty good about it. She goes knight b to d7, rook here to e1, queen forward and e4, trying to push. And it's funny, I thought this was a mistake after she goes e5, but the computer saying it's the best move, so I did play a good move. I captured. Now that was the mistake, capturing. She takes, and saw that bishop here to h2. Something to take of note, my king has no place to go. I think this is that game. The knight goes back here to e8, bishop here to c4, king slides over, pawn to h4, knight comes in. Now this is where I can feel that I'm getting, rushed. The knights are coming in, knight here, slide back, and queen here to e1. You see the eval bar, mine is 1.6 right now. The bishop attacks, I go pawn to c4, pawn here to b3. I'm just trying to hold on for dear life, trying to protect everything with everything. It's not going too well, but a blunder happens, and it completely flips. I sadly don't win because of a blunder you'll see shortly, but I did get advantage shortly. I take this pawn, I take the knight. This is the first, and it's funny, the blunder I make, not that it was just a blunder, but had I found the best move here, it couldn't have actually happened, and you'll see why in a second. And that also kind of sucks. Why I did this, I just, for whatever reason, did not consider backwards movement with the bishop. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. Like, until now, going over it, I did not once think that I could have done that, and I should have. So that's something else I got to work on. I tell people on stream, threats, captures, and checks, and I say, even when I give that advice, no one does it every turn, or else chess would always be a draw. I got to make sure I do it more than I'm doing right now. So I take, not a great move. Rook captures, I slide my rook over, rook f to d8, and the best move in the position I find, see if you can find, I'll give you like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knight b1. I found that move. I was doing pretty good. The reason it works, well, the point is there are 3 attackers on that square. I want to get it out the way to give this rook has 3 defenders, and then knight here to c3 is possible. Captures, rook slides over. Now, I was pretty sure if she takes is actually just a draw. I have to take, and then if I were to go, oh, that's a mistake. Looks like I am the one. Why is that a mistake? I did not see that. Bishop xe4, q xe4, q d8, king g7. Oh, I just went a lot of material. Okay, did not see that whatsoever. But rook slides over nonetheless. Knight here to c3. Don't want to look at it again. Knight here. And at this point, as you'll see, this is a bad blunder. You see the time usage is 16 seconds, right? So in the 16 seconds, I realized that I should have just went knight here first. So what I was thinking was, oh, if I just reset the position and then go there, it's fine. Because my thought was I attack the queen, you have to reset, and I go there. Little did I know that I had a free knight hanging. And boom, the game's just over after that. She ends up just disconnecting. So this isn't a win for me. As you can see, I'm just getting crushed. Bishop here, I'm pretty sure just completely winning. Yeah, and then there's nothing to do after this. Yeah, it would have been disgusting. But yeah, those are 3 games against the master. Always fun to play. If you're also title and you want to play, give me some lessons, completely down. But now, as I show you me getting crushed, I want to show you some games of me beating other people. So here are these 2 wins I got today. Getting back to 2027. I was like 2060 like a week ago. Bad stretch. But I was at 2005, and I think I would hit even like 1980 something. So I was like high, I dropped, and I'm slowly climbing back up, as is me and my blitz. I go d4 in this game. They go pawn to d5, bishop f4, pawn to e6, pawn to e3, and knight here to f6. I go bishop d3. Wow, I have allergies. But London system, all the same right now in the opening, but it does change eventually. They go bishop to e7, pawn here to h3, knight b to d7, knight to f3, and pawn to c5. I go c3, completing the diamond formation in the London. a4 is a move I play very shortly, I'm pretty sure. c4, and now a4. I was so confused I didn't play b5. This seems so obvious to me. Like, not even, there are some moves obviously I missed. You just saw me blunder a free piece. But for them to play c4 and not b5, it like defeats the purpose of c4 almost. So I was a little confused I didn't play that. But it happens, as I just showed. They go knight here to e4. I remember this game now. Knight b to d2. Pawn to f5. Good move. I expected it. But then pawn to g5. Now this I did not expect. This was very aggressive. And I am not a super aggressive player, so for me it definitely threw me off. But this felt too aggressive. Like, the queen has this nice square here that if I can get to, ruins everything. So I go bishop to h2. Pawn here to g4. Again, I'm just thinking this is a little too much. I take the pawn, they take, and I go knight here to e5. And the reason this is so good is because a pawn will probably fall. This pawn is hanging, and then this exchange itself is hanging a pawn. And the queen is just going to get so active. Like, it's just a lot going on. I actually end up messing up and like getting the advantage back, I'm pretty sure. But we trade pieces. Pawn here, take, bishop, and I think I mess up doing the I make a mistake somewhere. I was supposed to take the bishop back. Now, why I didn't, I thought that I saw something I didn't, but they just messed up. The reason I thought I saw, like, queen there, but the problem is the queen over, I'm pretty sure it stops all of it. Because then if you go there, and then queen just here, like, even when you move the bishop king over, you can't check. Oh, actually, I'll just show that. So I was thinking, well, if I go queen there, then there would, well, this is, besides the fact that this bishop's there, I don't feel like restarting it. Imagine that bishop wasn't there. If I were to do, actually that's lazy. So for example, this, and say here, like, to put how ridiculous my idea was, they have to play a move like this. I was like, oh, there, here. I was thinking this is like force mate, but the problem, or the computer saying is actually really good. This is force mate. Queen e7, bishop e4. Oh, because of the rook, because of this move I made. But this would not have worked if that rook was not there. And that's the whole idea. That my idea was wrong, is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I went back to 1.6. I offer a queen trade, but they blunder. They try and win material, but the issue is the queen can just take, which is what I did. And I slide over, pin this, and now it's really game over. Just want to slide there. Like, they can literally never move their rook. Like, I'm just going to slowly inch my rook in, and then take that, and there's just nothing they can do, and they resign. So that's the 4th game. If you're here for this long, thank you for staying. And also subscribe. Clearly you like the content. Let's get to this last game. So I go pawn here to d4, knight here to f6, bishop to f4, pawn to c5, pawn to e3, queen to b6, and pawn to b3. I sped through all of that. I thought it was kind of boring. There's nothing crazy happening here. They go pawn to d5, I go pawn to h3, knight goes here to c6, and knight to f3, trying to finish kingside development, protect this pawn as well, and just keep the game flowing. They go bishop f5, pawn to c3. Now bishop d3 was the better move. I just thought that c3 made sense, you know, just to guard that, and then bishop e3, but maybe wrong order, maybe wrong order. They go pawn to e6, I offer the trade now. They bring their knight in, I castle myself, I take the pawn, take the knight, which I thought was a very good move. The computer does not agree with my assessment of that position. They take back, I move my knight here to the central square on d4, attacking the knight, attacking the bishop. They drop their bishop back, I take their knight. Not a great move apparently. It's a huge mistake. Queen slides over, pawn up here to c4, they castle, pawn to a3, queen up, and I spend a lot of time on this. Next move, eventually, I see over a minute, eventually I go pawn to b4. I could not figure out what to do, which is kind of cool seeing the eval bar. There wasn't much to do, I'm just losing. I went b4 and just went my gut and went c5. Now, I thought this didn't work because of this, and I think I was right. I think it's actually just losing now. Queen a4, I have to offer a trade apparently, but bx e5. Yeah, I just have to lose material. And I thought I did, but I didn't see what else to play, so I went for it. But they actually mess up. They go a6. So I'm my rook over. Bishop goes here to, what is this, to f6. Oh, this is actually a pretty fun game. I go knight here to e2. Pawn 4. I slide back my bishop back. Want to give my king some escape square there. Then move their rook forward. Queen slides to b2. Queen slides over. Rook up, offering a trade. And I double up on this file. Looking to break in with c6. I go c6 as I thought. And they play an inexplicable move, pawn forward. So I push my pawn forward. I'm like, all right, let's go for it. And they go for this mate, this idea. Now, if I do this, it actually works. They're able to defend everything just in time. But I don't do that. I find the best move, king here. So now they have this rook under attack. But this rook protects this rook. So say they do this, the problem is I can still take with check and then take that. And if they do this over, then I can just take their rook. So either way, they're cooked. They do this way, I take with the knight, attacking that. So right now you see I'm down some material, +2. But they have a rook that will, both of their rooks will fall for one rook, or their rook will fall for nothing. So they can't do anything. They do it this way, check, and both their rooks fell for my one rook. King h7. I take the queen after they blunder, and that's just a game. So I hope you could enjoy these recaps. Me playing a master, me playing more of the 2000s. It felt good. I have a tournament tomorrow. Hopefully I can come back with some good news. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.